What is up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all of you beautiful people. Was on the phone, went a little bit longer. We're chatting with a good buddy of mine about the excitement of PulseChain coming up soon, talking different strategies, different ideas. And guys, I am freaking so excited for what we got going. Let me put my earbuds away real fast. Give me 1 second because I don't need them. Do-do-do. And say what's up to all you beautiful people. How are y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Today is April 23rd, 2023. My goodness, we are getting closer day by day as we are progressing forward through this thing called life for PulseChain to come forward. Let me say what's up to everyone real fast. But guys, to anyone who wants to join in on the stream is available and open. Whoops, not that. The stream is available and open to anyone who would like to join in. Simply type that in. The link is also in the description. So if y'all want to come hop in, come chat with me at the same time. If y'all got questions, anything that you want to discuss regarding, the HEX PulseChain play ecosystem, what's going on, what's good, what's bad, different things of everything that you can possibly imagine. Let's have a little fun chat. So, guys, please feel free to come on in and enjoy this lovely, lovely day. Let me say what's up to everyone once again, real quick. So, let me come on in here. J-Man, how are you? Happy Sunday, my friend. What's up, beautiful man? Guys, retweet out this stream. I went ahead and made a tweet as well. Y'all are welcome to either share this stream out with other like-minded individuals in our ecosystem community, or even if you got other individuals who may be newer to the whole crypto sphere and maybe you want to try to onboard them and you have some questions, you are welcome to also bring them on in, and I will be happy to assist in any way that I can at the same time. What's up, Romanian Dan? Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. ES Sports. What's up, my friend? Much love to you, my dude. Much love. Much love. Shout out to his Patreon supporter right there. Gloria. Hello. Happy Sunday to all. Hello. 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 Deploy the like button on entry. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Facing reality. Good morning. What's up, my friend? We got crypto military vet. Hoorah. Simplify. What's up, HOA? Hello. Kaisa. Everyone go follow Kaisa on Twitter. He is doing phenomenal work. And if you want to as well, you're welcome to follow him. His name is Kaisa, exactly like that, with crypto at the end. So at Kaisa Crypto, he is posting a bunch of small little clips from multiple streams. So he's definitely watching all the streams in our ecosystem and community. Shout out to Kaisa for everything that you're doing. Much love to you as well. Got a special gift coming from Pulse Nation to you. So much love, Kaisa. Romanian Dan, hello. Pretzels, yeah, bring on the pretzels. MJ Money, great weekend, everyone. Absolutely. Let's have some fun. What's up, Hexkins? Hey, Ten Top, Crypto Compassion. Hello, what's up? What's up, Mary? Hello. Need Hex to live here in California. Yes, ma'am, we sure do. Another Patreon supporter right there. Mary, yeah, you definitely gonna need some we're gonna need them Hex gains. We need them PulseChain gains, we need them PulseX gains. Once we start getting gains on gains, that's when everything is beautiful and loved for every single one. So yeah, shout out to all of you beautiful people who are tuning in. Again, if y'all have any questions along the way, y'all are welcome to address them. And if not, we're just going to have a little fun discussion as to what is going on. There's some meme coins going freaking crazy right now, but we ain't here to talk about meme coins. We're here to make that money and not worry about what's going to happen. Do I have to get in? Do I have to get out? Like, all that noise. So let's say what is up real fast to everyone. But yeah, if y'all are wanting to join in on the stream, the link is at the very top, of course, right here. Big, beautiful, bold, and nice, easy to see link right there, as well as in the description below. I actually saw a fun little thing made by K4K, and I think it's definitely important for a lot of people to see, because I've been seeing a few people kind of get a little bit maybe wanting to jump on the bandwagon almost a little bit too much, if you ask me. So the idea right here is that PulseChain sacrificers and potential validators, this is like a warning to everyone, or an alert, or something to grab your attention. I've been seeing a lot of people like, hey, should I become a validator? Should I not mess with being a validator? Should I do this? Should I do that with the validator? And guys, like, this says it all right here. So if you're thinking about buying a validator hardware for $2,000, well, again, hold on up real fast. And if you only have enough PLS for one validator, which is 32 million, it may be better to invest in more PLS. With $2,000, you can get more PLS for the price, right? With an average stack price. So what is going on? Let me welcome on in real fast another guest, beautiful member who has been in this ecosystem for a hot minute. Crypto Compassion. How are you, my friend?
Hey guys, how you doing, bud?
Hey.
Yep.
Who are you most excited about?
Oh goodness, man, we've been doing this for a minute, right? So I think it's real important to know that we've had time to think about things.
Oh, I love that. Don't you?
Yeah, I do actually. I think as excited as I was when it first, the launch was, as far as the sacrifice for PulseChain was, and the hopes that it was coming out in 2 or 3 months, it was kind of like, you know what? I don't know if I was ready for that kind of windfall in my life at that moment. Even though you can kind of think about it and digest about it. I'm real excited about what Richard talks about. What's the end game?
Right.
It's people. You know what
Always.
I mean?
You look back at the end, man, you can buy so many things with monetary value, but when you got the best of everything already, the best stereos, the best lights, the best setup, the best TV, the best sound,
yeah,
what more the best do you need, right? Like, you just need to start focusing on helping others. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. That's why we do what we do in terms of the stream and the community, the talks, all the discussions. It's more or less just getting the mind right, because the wealth is something we're all going to have, but what are you going to do with that wealth at the end of the day?
True.
Right.
Yeah. And it's no doubt that we don't live like I get that we live in a digital economy, and we live in an area where those kind of things, like the monetary things, as long as you don't worship them, they can become the sizzle that could kind of enhance the message. So obviously, it's not to say maybe a Lambo isn't in play, but maybe it draws the attention and the eyes to the message of helping, an orphanage in Africa that never would have got out anyways. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I love that.
I think that we in this community have been, it's kind of weird to say this, but I think we've been chosen. I think we're all in the right time, in the right place, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the networking. Just like the network is the network is your net worth in that sense. And I think about all the relationships, like funding Jim and all these people that are out there just hitting the network. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
That dude right there, Gary. He has his P's and Q's already in check.
Yeah,
he's out here just spreading the good word, right?
For sure. Yeah, he's helping people and just into the world of crypto, even in a easy way. Because so often, I mean, heck, I remember whenever I first got into crypto and I saw my first like 10x, you just want to tell everyone, right? You just want to go and, guys, you got to come hop in. You got to go do this. Like, fuck all the other stuff, and forget everything else that you're talking about. Like, let's go. And you shake them, and you're like, that's by no means the right way to get in or try to help someone to at least learn this crazy world of crypto, because it is something that takes time to especially understand properly. So I think he's doing it correct, and I'm a big fan of Gary. Hopefully I get to meet him when he's down here in Austin. He's coming with Walrus and Westcott. They're coming down.
Consensus, huh?
Yeah, they're doing the consensus. So I would love to be there with them. Unfortunately, the situation, we have a special needs dog at the house. Long story short, I just I'm a stay-at-home house dog dad, which is cool, but it just kind of restricts me from doing it all the time. So we'll eventually meet up one day where we just have all the freedom and just have the relaxation, we can talk. But it's a lot of fun, man. Love to see him.
Well, I tell you what, when the RG3 tour rolls through Austin, I'll make sure I stop by and say hello to you. I'm up in Oregon.
Nice.
But I do plan on going to the Austin one. I do plan on going to the Brooklyn meetup.
Wow.
And then, there's other shit that I plan on going to, but for sure Austin. I like Austin. Austin's cool.
Yeah, Austin's beautiful. Yeah, I'll be there at that meetup as well.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
So we'll meet up. We'll slap hands.
Yeah, it was funny. We me Eco Builder, Side Effects, Left Action House, and I think Shane was even there.
Yeah.
Richard Hart's brother. Shane was there, but it's one of those. we were all just having fun. We were waving on we were on the bridge on I-35 and MLK Bridge, and you may have seen some photos posted around Twitter. But
yeah, seen them,
yeah, we were all there, and dude, it was a lot of fun, man. Like as much as you wanted, like people were recording, people were waving. I felt like I was almost at like a beauty pageant, pulling the little princess wave type deal. But I mean, just to like when people are stuck in traffic, we've all been in that situation where traffic can sometimes get you in a bad mood. And then just to see that, us doing that brought smiles on people's faces. You talked about it earlier with like doing it for the people. That alone sometimes could just make someone's day. Cause I remember I would before, like I would have to sit in traffic for like an hour and a half sometimes for work. And I had to eventually learn how to calm myself with traffic, because that took a lot of patience to learn, and some people never learn that, right? Even to this day, they still sit in traffic an hour and a half a day and they're just angry the whole time. But fortunately for me, I was able to almost use it as like my Zen time. I would use it for watching videos and listening to podcasts and different things that I would like, okay, cool, this is the time I can really get into it, because I'm doing nothing else but sitting in traffic. And so it was a lot of fun though. We had a fun question already right here, so might as well see what you got to say on this one. Do you guys believe in 200X in 2 to 4 weeks?
Which one? PulseChain or PulseX?
I mean, let's go with all four. I mean, forget it, like HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, HEX on PulseChain.
The only thing I know that, we always try to make comparables between like Ethereum and all these kind of things. We got to look at the infancy of where Ethereum was in the history of crypto.
Right.
We also have to look at the fact that Ethereum wasn't fully loaded with 150 native projects. We have to look at the fact that Ethereum didn't come loaded with 10,000 projects that are getting forked.
Right.
We have to think about Ethereum not having a war chest of, possible liquidity from sacrifice balances.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that charts go up and they go down, but I do know there's a ton of demand. I know that Randy Hilarski talks about like 100X in 3 months.
Yeah.
I think it's like 3 months, and I think it's definitely possible. The one fact that we always I will say this much: the one thing that I can really kind of get my head wrapped around is what L1s have done in 1 year, and the L1s in 1 year is like 450X,
right? And
I think that it would be a crying shame if we only hit 450 in 1 year.
I'm right there with you. I concur. Yeah, it's 100%. So yeah, I mean,
we have like better marketers.
Yeah, as much as I want to say, like, and I said this to my buddies, so I'll say the same thing as well. You have to understand that there was only 40,000 people to sacrifice for PulseChain, right? Richard Hart has well over 300,000 followers, and when he makes a post on Twitter, he gets hundreds of thousands of views above his follower count. All those people are wanting to get involved with PulseChain somehow, some way. Early is my guess.
Yeah.
And if there's only 40,000 people that can possibly even dump the price, what's going to happen with the other 200,000 people that want to buy the price?
Yeah.
So I see a massive amount of growth within the span of the first 6 months to a year, like you mentioned. 200X in 2 to 4 weeks, sure. Like, could we see a wick up to 100X on the same day? Maybe. Like, who knows exactly what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But that's why, like, when you start playing some of these numbers, you also just want to zoom out, because would you be okay with a 200X if it took 2 years? The answer is yes. Like, I don't care who you are. The answer is yes. And so, like, okay, if it took 2 years to get 200X, then that's phenomenal. What if you got it done in a year? That's even better. What if you got it done in 6 months? Then it's even better, right? So it's just like, it just gets better the shorter frame it gets, and then hopefully the more maximized potential reward you can have as well. But there's only 40,000 people that even got into PulseChain. Like, that's not that many people. There's 300,000 plus holders of HEX. There's over 100 plus thousand stakers in HEX. There's only 40,000 people that got into PulseChain. So can I see 200X in the first 2 to 4 weeks? Sure. Is it likely? I don't know, right? But at the same time, what would you be okay with? Like, as long as you get in early in DCA for the first 6 months to a year is what I've been telling everyone. Find a way to DCA whatever money you can afford to DCA. Don't go crazy and ham and just go fucking FOMO in on day one, for example. But I'm a big believer that all these projects have a potential to do 200x in the span of the next couple years, and I'm okay with that, right? And anything above that, guys, it's cherry on top. Look, if you got a $5,000 entry price and you did a 200x, that's $1 million, guys. Like, if you turn $500 into $1 million in 2 years, are you complaining? The answer is no, right? If you did that faster and shorter, better, right? But like, I think people are focused a little bit too much on the X's, and they don't focus on how to capitalize on the X's. We're going to see it go up, and you're going to see it go down, and then you're going to see it go up, and then you're going to see it go down. But do you have any profit-taking strategy in place, right? Do you have any way of actually capitalizing that, or are you just going to hold until 2025, like I've heard some people say? If that is the case, HEX makes it a beautiful thing, because it, you know, almost rewards you for staking and delaying gratification.
Yep.
But at the same time, a lot of people can't hold that, guys. We got paper hands. We're creatures of emotions. If you see your account go from 500 to $1 million, and then you see it go down to 200,000, it messes with your head psychologically, and that's still a massive gain from what you had. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a 40x from what you actually entered. That's massive. But how many people are going to be okay with that at that point? It's going to mess with your head psychologically. So make sure you take some profits, guys. I've said this time and time again. I'll say it again. Take profits. Make sure you got a plan. But yes, I do see it being possible. Our payout tonight for Icosa and Hedron stakes will be epic. Yeah, I mean, that was a massive payout yesterday. Not massive payout yesterday, but today. Yeah, there was a massive auction that happened yesterday with a bunch of Hedron and Icosa. And I'm a big fan of Hedron and Icosa. I got plenty of stakes myself, and loving the yield that I'm earning over there too. Shout out to Alex and the Hedron community and Icosa community.
Killing it.
Yeah, straight up, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Afternoon, all. What's up? What's up? Hello. What's up, Chris? Side Effects. Yeah, Side Effects is out there showing the love with the Austin fam. Today is a lovely Sunday. I love you all. I love you too, Cookie. Much love. So, you got any questions for me, Compassion? I know you've been around the ecosystem for a hot minute. Love seeing you on all the streams. Much appreciated for all the support that you provide for all the channels, actually, in that regard. What kind of got you to, I guess, start wanting to participate in every other, not all the other streamers, but most of the other streamers, right? Like, you're out there, you know, either commenting or you're hopping on streams or you're doing what you can. So where was your journey to show your face in this ecosystem? Because that's a crazy journey.
You know, if we're going to put like timestamps on it, I guess, I think my first encounter with like Richard Hart was like probably like January 2021. And then my first like HEX stake was like back in March of 2021. And so I kind of got onboarded more or less from a YouTuber. His name's Joe Perry's. You know, he kind of does quite a bit. He has a lot of HEX, but then he started kind of hitting the war drum on PulseChain and the sacrifice, and you know, kind of to speak to some of that mind emotional fitness that you were talking about, as far as the volatility that we're, you know, about to enter with PulseChain, and are you ready for the ups and downs and the swings? You know, I know that I was just before the PulseChain sack, I was in some projects where it's like, boom, I'd go up like 60 grand in one day, and then the next day it'd be like, boom, 30 grand down, and it'd be just like, oh my gosh, you know, and you're just like,
yep.
But that was like a taster of like what's to come, you know what I mean? So where that put me as far as a position, you know, it allowed me to back the truck up on PulseChain, so I felt good about that, right? But I was doing some YouTube streams, but I work a lot right now. I still work a lot, but I do believe that, you know, if my Moon Boy math works out, I might be able to walk away kind of like you and be the retired life 2 months into this. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing too.
I mean, between the HEX, the PulseChain, the PulseX, the Hedron, the Icosa, But just even like, he mentions 200X. That doesn't mean I would cash out, but I could look at my validator income off that.
Yeah.
If I was a validator income and I'm like, oh shoot, that's like 20 grand a month.
Right.
Okay. I can
a
do
lot.
that.
That's a lot. Like that's a lot, folks.
So,
And that's not even
uh,
including all the other plays that we have going on. So yeah.
so as far as like what you were speaking about, as far as, I was doing some like educational streams for a minute there. I do think that when I have more time in life, when you mentioned the earbuds and listening to streams in the car, I mean, that's my life throughout the
Right.
entire day is just
Right.
earbuds, and if I'm replying, sometimes it's just on my phone, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But I do plan on maybe picking up the live streams here when I have more time to do so. Um, I don't know if it would be completely crypto. I thought about kind of doing a little bit of crypto health and wealth, some crypto, some real estate, and
Right.
some AI. I feel like AI is a disruptor that we need to pay attention to.
Yeah, for sure. I'm right there with
Yeah.
you. Me and Randy are doing the same thing with AI, man. Yeah, we're disruptive for sure.
Yep. So
That's awesome,
no,
man.
but
Well, we're glad to have you in the community, and I think what's funny about all this too is you just said it alone. Where if you see a 200x in the first few months of any of these projects, I think a lot of lives are about to change for the better. Um, so you want to become the best version of yourself because money can help fix some things, but it can't fix who you are
right,
internally. So if you are already a person who has a tough time with money in general, it's very tough when you walk into money to become all of a sudden just money savvy, right? You don't just make a lot of money and then you're like, okay, now I know what to do. Like that's the
right,
backwards way of thinking that a lot of folks have, unfortunately been ingrained with, I guess. I don't know, just kind of taught since a young age. You make money and then you let it figure it out or whatever. Um, but I think a lot of the times you got to look internally is like who you are as an individual. If you're a compassionate person already, you're more likely to go start helping as many people as you can and start reaching out to as many people as you can. If you know that
yeah,
you're a person who, has some struggles with addictions and stuff like that, well, money just amplifies that struggle that you're going to have to go through. So you want to make sure that you're the best version of yourself that you can be when you actually get the money that's coming along, because we've all waited for this for a very long time. 2 years isn't that long in the grand
no,
scheme of life, when you look at it. But for a lot of folks, it's still, we didn't anticipate it to go this long. I know I sure didn't. I was in the boat when we first sacrificed in July of 2021, that it was
yeah,
in December of 2021, and so, and
yeah,
then May of 2022, and then I've been in that boat for a very long time. So we're almost 2 years in at this point in time, and hopefully it's given everyone a lot of time to either build a better position in their portfolio,
hmm,
um,
hmm,
and hopefully it's given the ability to come up with a better game plan. Because I know
yep,
had it launched whenever I had first sacrificed, my game plan was way different back then. And
hmm,
so now I've formulated different things. I've actually got other stuff set up in place to now make sure that I'm taking care of my family in the future with trust and that kind of stuff. So it's a beautiful thing.
hmm.
And I had time to actually build all that out, which is awesome.
Cool.
To anyone who wants to do that, I highly advise going checking out, the MCA Mountain Crypto Advisors. I know,
Yeah,
being promoted
great
with,
dudes.
yeah, exactly, being promoted with Whales Only and Kinetics.
Hmm.
They put together this phenomenal thing. They also have the HEX Investment Trust, and they got a lot of stuff going on. That's beautiful stuff for a lot of people. And guys, when you start coming into wealth, you want to find a way to secure it. That's as simple as that. So what are you going to
Yep.
do when you get the wealth? And that's what hopefully everyone has come up with a good game plan. We got a couple of questions that I kind of saved on this one. We got Clifton Lewis saying, "Hey, to Hexicans, please." Hold on, let me see. I didn't really read it, I guess. Please remember to use the most important crypto chart, calendar, DCA, mine, and HODL. Have a profit-taking strategy like ATX Crypto, and I know
Yeah.
I'm gonna grow my bags with this great alpha. Thank you so much, Clifton. Gabriel actually asked, "Do you think the documentary will come sooner than mainnet?" And I think I know the answer, but maybe you have a better answer.
I think from what Kinetics said the other night, it was going to be after mainnet.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that if we could paint some charts, some beautiful green candle charts. It
Mm-hmm.
will only, it will only, just put yourself in the shoes of like an executive at like Netflix, and they kind of look at maybe the existing chart and they kind of go, I don't know, crypto doesn't really seem like it's popping right now.
Right.
PulseChain,
Yeah.
PulseX launches, HEX takes off, and it's the talk of the town. And all of a sudden, they kind of go, "Well, shoot, we were going to offer you like 2 million for it, and now you just offered us 4 million, and I think we're going to take your 4 million."
Yeah, exactly.
All of a sudden, the producers
I
become the
like that.
ones. They become the negotiators. Like, hey, you were kind of on the fence before when we were saying two.
Mm.
I'm just throwing out numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
and they're kind of like, oh shoot, this is like the next Tiger King type thing.
Yeah. No,
Um,
that's a great point that you say. I didn't even think about the bargaining chip that they're going to also have
yeah,
afterwards after it launches. So yeah, I mean, it was stated the other day when RG3 and Kinetics and all them were doing the F and Hangout, I think Friday,
yeah, yeah,
that it was essentially it would be in there. It would behoove them to launch it after because the excitement would be way higher. So one, it allows everyone who's early to still get in early
yeah.
without trying to bring in mainstream, because if you have
Right.
a lot of people who aren't in this ecosystem following for this entire time and you're just watching Netflix thing and they're in before you on day one and you've been waiting 2 years, that's a
Yeah.
little bit sad, for everyone who's been waiting and then they just heard about it and they just get a big bag and it's like, damn, that's cool. But hopefully it gives everyone a position to build a good bag. And then,
Yeah.
when the time comes, they're going to come on board and it just pumps even higher. So
Yeah.
I could definitely
Yeah.
see that being the case.
And it's not, I don't like the idea or the saying of what you typically see in crypto influencers of
Mm.
fill and shill.
Mm-hmm.
But in that situation, you know what, we've been following, we've been preparing, what a success is when opportunity and preparation meet,
Mm.
you know,
Yep. Yep.
and so we in this community have been preparing in our opportunity for the last 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And by golly, if we're rewarded with a documentary that pumps our bags, it doesn't mean that we're just like sitting here dumping on people. It's just we're early. You
Right.
know what I mean? And there's other ways that we can extract value. That doesn't mean we're dumping. Either you could be providing liquidity, you could be a validator, you could be
Yep.
utilizing liquid loans or Power City for various things. So there's a lot of ways you can extract value and still continue to keep things going in the direction that we want it to go. So
Absolutely. Yeah, guys. And if y'all have any questions along the way, if y'all want to come in on join the stream, again, link is up there, right there up in the banner. But you can also join down in the description below. Very first link when you first open up the description box. Come on in. If you want to make an appearance and start showing your face in this ecosystem. I know there's always a particular day that everyone, I believe, remembers. And I got my start on Telegram, actually, which is funny. That's where I kind of started at least talking and sharing my thoughts and asking my questions, because we all have questions. I myself still have plenty of questions along the way. And it's good to hear everyone's opinions, thoughts, and where they get the ideas from as well. So I got my introduction through Telegram, and then I got on Twitter Spaces, and then I started making YouTube videos, and now I'm here doing almost daily streams. So pretty crazy stuff right there. What? He says, hey, Hex Freedom, are you a Kinetics alt account? Someone's hating on RG. I don't know. We love RG3 though, so I'm not really sure exactly what Hex Freedom's talking about, but all good. I'm the
yeah,
only negative Nancy that thinks the documentary won't impact anything. Well, again, so the way the documentary is set up, it's way to showcase full perspective. It's not meant to be a full pump documentary, right? And everyone's going
right.
to be able to come up with their own logic and their own reasons, and whatever they just decide to come out with at the end of the day is something that you can hear about it. It's just like you may have heard, Romanian Dan, you may have heard about Bitcoin, for example, back in 2012, and you didn't do anything during that time, and then
Right.
Bitcoin came, and you heard about it again in 2016, and then it came, and then you heard about it in 2020 whenever the pump is going, and you're like, okay, cool, let me get in now, right? It's the same scenario. People are going to hear about the ecosystem from the documentary, whether they join or not. That's one way or another, but they're going to at least hear about it. and then in the future they're going to hear about it again, and then in the future they're going to hear about it again. Maybe they already have Ethereum bags that they already hold, and they're going to be like, oh, I didn't know, I just needed to connect to a different network. Boom. And I don't even know if they're going to talk any much about PulseChain, right? But
yeah,
because again, I haven't seen the documentary. I know nothing about it. PulseChain clearly isn't out. I'm sure they have to show something for people sacrificing the wait, the delay. I don't know. I have no idea though. Maybe it's just all about HEX. Has anyone even clarified that? If it's even talking about PulseChain at all? I don't even know if I've ever heard anybody ask.
I'm sure it mentions it, but yeah, to speak to Romanian Dan, it's just, it's just continuous awareness. But yeah, it doesn't mean like all of a sudden fireworks are gonna shoot off. And I think that we've built up enough firework display in this community anyways. You know what I mean? It's like I got like an inside track, like my girlfriend was saying, like I got an inside track of onboarding even like Snoop Dogg.
Right.
And she's like into PulseChain. And because I got a homeboy that plays in the NFL and he grew up with Snoop. So
nice.
The point being is that going to make or break the ability for HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX to do what it does? No, but it could help. It could help. Sure. You know what I mean? Could the movie help? Yeah, it could help. I don't think it's going to stop the direction we're going though, by any means. I mean, this snowball is rolling, and it's time to go.
Facts, man. Yeah, and right there with you, and that's awesome. You got the community. It's funny how the connections work in general, just in life, right? It's 2 degrees from another person type deal, or the degrees of separation from somebody. And yeah, as we start progressing forward, yeah, the overall adoption of a particular coin may not necessarily weigh one way or another on one person, but just the overall adoption is really cool to just spread that awareness.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I feel about the movie, because we've all been waiting for it at this point in time. I think we, just like PulseChain, we've been waiting. We just want to see what happens. We want to see how it plays out. I would love to just have the insider track as well, so I can say I've spoken about it. Did you see the latest the latest reel from the Highest of Stakes?
I did. I saw that Alex had his opportunity to be front row.
Yeah,
all that kind of good stuff. And no, it's good. I mean, aside from not knowing exactly all the content of it, it looks so far, the trailers look pretty fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the trailers look epic. Yeah, let me see. It says a little behind the scenes, the VIP screening. How long is it? 1:21. Yeah, might as well watch it if y'all don't mind.
Right up. Yeah.
Pause. Go back. Share. Full screen. All right. Whoops. Add stream. So this is the most recent, the Highest of Stakes documentary video that they have released, and this is Alex from Hedron. He was actually the #1, or he was the person who bought they used to sell boxes, and he sold the biggest box that they sold, and it was for $55,555, which is cool. So he paid it, and he got a special guest pass to actually watch it. And this is actually a little behind the scenes of what went down. Shout out, boys. Big Kowski, Alex, RG3, his lady.
Okay, here we go. Ready? In one word. Who is Richard?
Just one word. God.
Well, Alex,
it's fantastic. Just so you know. Those moments, like, man, every time it cuts back to Mikey, everyone's like, oh, there we go.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The music has changed the whole film for me.
Perfect. It's exquisite. There's no better crypto documentary. That's for sure. That's 100% certain.
There we go.
So, let's go. Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah, dude, I seen that, and I got super excited whenever I ended up seeing that because he didn't know he was being filmed, which is always a good time to get that genuine reaction, if you will.
Yeah.
And so he didn't know he was being filmed. He got to see everything for the first time. Well, I've seen a lot of other crypto documentaries. I think the one that really caught my attention whenever I first watched it was the Netflix one called Trust No One.
Okay. Yeah.
And that one had a lot of twists, a lot of turns. It was, you were left at the end of the day not wondering, what was good, what was bad, if they actually had an evil intention or whatever. And then you start watching these little documentaries, and I'm sure Alex has probably seen many more crypto documentaries for him to say it's the best. I know we have some bias toward everything as well, so it's tough until I get to see it myself. But
Right.
yeah, big fan of absolutely everything on here right now. Let me see. Boop-a-doo. Okay, cool. Yeah, Westcott just sent. We got a fire freaking promo coming on Pulse Nation coming soon, man. So
Yeah.
yeah. Super excited, man. If y'all aren't checking out Pulse Nation, again, it's something we do every Wednesday, 1:30 Central Standard Time and 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we're gonna also host Twitter Spaces on Wednesdays as well. I think we're gonna be doing Wednesdays and Thursdays, boys and girls. So you'll see. We'll see. But it'll be fun, man.
We need to get you and Westcott on Earn Your Leisure podcast. Real
Welcome.
talk. I mean,
we're always down. I mean, you're just a simple little invite away, and I'm available.
I'll tell you what, man, they got a big platform. They speak to a lot of people. I know there are things down in the South, and I'm talking to them folk down there in Georgia and what have you. I think they're out of Atlanta or something like that.
Nice.
But they speak to a lot of people, and they get into the crypto game too a little bit, but they kind of hit the fringe. You know what I mean? They're kind of talking, Ethereum, and I don't know if they're using like centralized exchanges to get their crypto, if they're full blown DeFi or where they're at in their journey, but
right.
At least they're touching it.
No, I mean, I think everyone has to start that journey, man. It's like to learn the world of DeFi is a scary world, first of all, because again, it requires you taking responsibility, which for a lot of folks and individuals, that responsibility is already a tough action to do in and of itself. Yeah. But when you are fully responsible for every single thing that happens, your own wallet, your own funds, your own control, you click something, you did something, it is it's so easy to always want to just point the fingers, but it's so hard when you got, many of them pointing back at you, right? And so I think I did the same thing, man. I was fortunate enough to have stumbled upon Richard Hart, but I was back in the day, I was buying $100 worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano every day for about 2 years. This is like 2019, 2020, something like that. And I did that for 2 years, and I did that every single day, $100 in each one, just because I had a decent paying job at the time, and I was thankful for all that. It allowed me to, put a lot more into it early on. And so I did $100, bam, 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 for 2 years. It was a beautiful thing. And I was all on centralized exchanges, though. It was all on, the crypto.com, the Robinhoods, the whatever else I could do, because my goal initially was to always retire before I was 40. That had been a goal of mine since I got out of the Marine Corps. And I was like, I'm going to do whatever I can to get there. And so I'd heard about Bitcoin back in 2013. My wife actually brought me over and introduced me to this guy who was talking about being retired off Bitcoin. And I was like, nah, man, that ain't my thing. And back then I was doing foreign exchange trading. And
were you?
Yeah.
So you were a couple steps removed then.
Yeah, I was doing everything I could. I was doing everything I could to be retired except for learn crypto, right? But I was learning Forex. And then like I got in 2017, I really started doing like drop shipping, and I was doing whatever I could, man. I was like swing trading, I was drop shipping, I was buying a small little bit of crypto back then, but I really started getting into crypto like 2019. And then eventually I stumbled upon Richard Hart in 2020 and started getting in early 2021, like you said. And then, but I was able to just swap over all the things that I've been doing for a long time. I was like, you know what? Like, this is what I've been looking for HEX. And I was so thankful that I had found it and even introduced to it. But everyone's got to have that journey, man. I was like, and thank God I heard about it. Because again, all my money was I had a lot of money on BlockFi for a while. And so I look back at that. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I dodged a freaking
Yeah.
bullet. And yeah, I would love to have a conversation with anyone who wants to talk about that kind of stuff, though.
So you were into Cardano also, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I was messing with Cardano back then, because I had believed in Charles Hodgkins and I believed in everything that he was doing. Ethereum, I was looking at the top market caps back then, basically. So it was Ethereum, Cardano, and Bitcoin were the ones that really caught my eye. And again, I know market cap doesn't matter, but it's what people look at. So whatever you want to say there, right? It's like I now understand how it works a lot better than I did back then, and I know it's all just a made up imaginary number that someone can put on for whatever reason they decide. But it's simple, but you can't do anything with that. But that's what I did. I looked at that kind of stuff, right? And then 2020, I started getting into pools with my buddy where we had multi-sig wallets, and I think that was my first time kind of introduced to wallets and multi-sig wallets and that kind of stuff was back in 2020. And so we had a group of me and two other buddies where we each put in, I think it was like $2 to $5 grand. I don't remember what it was at this time, but we were just buying whatever freaking meme coin we could. All the e-news, all the Keyshoes, all the freaking whatever token had a funny name at the time. We were like, let's just do it, small market cap. Let's go. We won't touch it for 2 years. And eventually I was actually just like, dude, keep the money. Like, I don't even care at this point because like I don't want to wait that long. I got this now. And so I got away from that little world because like I was like, that just is terrible for my health, my wealth, my psychological, my mental capacity and everything that I was got going. So yeah, man, it was definitely a different time back then for sure. Dude, different time.
You know, Charles is, you know, he's a good guy in the space. You know,
Mm-hmm.
He's a little. We're all a little bit different. You know, God made us all different.
Yep.
You know, but by all means, he is good in a lot of ways. He definitely does preach for the most part self custody and all that kind of stuff, which is important for the space. And so yeah, very good. You know, I know you mentioned something earlier too about, you know, shiny objects and frog coins out there and stuff like that.
Yep.
You know, I'd like to run that back a little bit and kind of touch on that, and not touch on it, but kind of speak to when you think about it being kind of an indicator, and you try to put yourself in like RH's shoes right now, and he's looking for, I don't know if he's timing, but I think he is.
Right.
And so if you look at something like that popping off, you kind of go, it's time to get to market. It's time to go.
Oh yeah.
When you look at
the meme coins are popping like crazy already.
It's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go. So I mean, that's the only speaking to it that I'm going to get into, because it kind of tells me, when you see that happening, you see B roots getting pumped up, you know, these are all indicators. They're all barometers of like, okay, it's time to pop it off. It's time to move into market. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, look back at when PulseChain and PulseX were first a thing. Richard Hart mentioned MVP, and that stood for minimum viable product. So what would it be needed? What was needed to launch as a minimum viable product for it to hit the market? We are so far past MVP at this point in time. Like we are way beyond at that point in time. So, you know, like, could it have been timing launch? Yes. Could have been just improving, because again, like, you look back and you're like, you get one chance to launch, right? So everything that has happened has been beneficial for us waiting. Right now we switched over from the BSC chain and having to fix all the bugs and code that were messed up there to the E2.0 chain that's actually been known to be effective and work, and they just had to make sure it was good. So cool, we got that switched over. Okay, cool. Well, now we had the Shanghai update. Well, that allows validators to now withdraw. They didn't have the ability even on PulseX or PulseChain right now for validators to withdraw. Well, now they do, because the Shanghai upgrade has already gone into play, and we already know that the fork of Ethereum will be a copy of the entire system state at that time. So what we saw in V4 did not allow validators to withdraw because it doesn't have the Shanghai upgrade involved. But the snapshot, when the time comes and the fork happens in the future, it'll already be built into the code. So they'll be able to withdraw. That's cool. That's really good stuff. That's like, so all the stuff that we've been waiting for has like literally just made it better. And now we're at the point in time, like you said, where I don't know what else could be improved at this point, right? Like,
Yeah.
I look at it and I just, all the little stuff that you see, whether it be limit orders or whether it be, you know, like we saw the bridge working now, we saw the buy and burn working, we saw LP working, we see validators working, everything that was working is working. I look back at that, I'm like, the AMM bot's working. Like literally everything that you could possibly name right now that was an item back then is no longer an item. It's been checked.
Right.
So I'm right there with you. You see the meme coins popping off, and you see Bitcoin touching 30K. You see Ethereum going above 2K. You see everything happening. And at this point, you know, you have people saying like they're just waiting on the rate increase, the last rate increase, or whatever you want to call it. Like, who knows? I don't think he's waiting on anything with the feds. I think he's focused on the crypto world because he doesn't care about the dollars. He knows the fiat world is trash. So you look at that and you're like, okay, cool. Everything that you said right there has timed it to be right where we are now. And now it looks to be freaking beautiful. Like back then, it was uncertain about a lot of things. Yeah. There's no longer uncertainty about anything anymore, I feel like, personally.
Yeah. And even the narrative with like legacy and the banks, we're in a better position now than we were before, because where do refugees go when they feel like they're where they're treated best? They feel like they're in quicksand. If they're in real estate, if they're in stocks, or they feel like their bank's going to shut down and they're only going to get maybe 250,000 out of their million, they're going to look for refuge, you know, and they're going to look, and then they're going to look to crypto, and it's proven that that's where they have been looking, is crypto. And then you look at institutions, to speak to exactly what you spoke about, as far as like the validators in Shanghai being able to, unstake.
Right.
That's huge for institutions. When you think about, hey, if we're going to take some money from our fund and put it over into PulseChain, this new shiny object, we want to know we can pull it out. It's just not stuck there for like a year. You know what I mean? Kind of like it was with Ethereum, you know?
I mean, they were locked up in there since 2020, you know, for some of the first validators, right? So.
And that's like big baller retailers, you know what I mean? Really, it wasn't. That's not like JP Morgan sticking some money in, because that's just too on shaky ground. They don't know, you know. But now, I'll bet you they feel like, hey, I could put money into Ethereum because we could just pull it right back out if we need to.
Right. Everyone's loving Earn Your Leisure. So yeah, much love. Well, yeah, would love to have me and Westcott on there, and yeah, it was so fun, man. Because like when you just had the ability to just talk with other individuals, whether it be different criteria, different companies, different, you know, things going on in their life. It's really cool to see all the different avenues that you start introducing for many people, because it's not like you don't just have to get rich off one thing. Like there's a lot of ways to make money, and there's a lot of ways to earn freedom. And so this is just another avenue that happens to be one of the quickest ways to do it. However, it also comes with a lot of volatility, and it's tough for people to understand what that volatility can do to your psyche. Because again, like guys, if y'all see it go from 4 figures to 5 figures to 6 figures to 7 figures down to 4 figures to 3 figures, it messes with you, man. I'm telling you guys, like if you aren't ready for it, then just be if this is like the first true little moment in time where y'all are going to see the money go up real fast and then down real fast, just get ready, because the volatility in the first 66 months to 90 days of PulseChain, PulseX are going to be crazy. There's going to be, how many new projects did you say? I think we had well over 150. Yeah, that's 150 projects that are ready to launch at this time that people are going to have the ability to move money into, right? And you're going to see a lot of folks make this decision where you're going to go from, you see a good 50x your money. I'm not even going to say 50x. We'll go say 20x, okay? If you see 20x your money on what you've first put in, again, if you did $5,000 and you did a nice little 20x, you see $100,000 at that time. You start looking at all these different projects and you're like, I can put 5 here, I can put 5 here, I can put 5 here. Next thing you know, you got 100 projects that you're in and you're like, why did I do that? So like, just be mindful about what you're getting into. I heard Crypto Sloth the other day said he got into some of the meme coins because of the meme. And and I was almost kind of shocked. I was almost like, what are you doing, Sloth? But at the
you're killing me.
You're killing me, man. But hey, if you got, it was a small amount of money, right? He even said it himself. But it's something that sometimes that's just like you put a small amount for a fun play, just because it's whatever. It's gambling at a casino. Luckily, I removed that mentality for myself where I don't gamble on at the casino anymore, which is funny. It was just something that I've never really been a fan of because I know I chase bet. I know myself.
Right.
And a lot of the times what happens is you get into something, and even if you moved $100,000 and you got some profits and you move 10K over into a new project that you think is going to do good, and then that one rugs, you somehow end up in this chase bet mentality. Even though you still got 90K over here, you end up with this chase bet mentality, and that's a dangerous world to play in, folks. So I caution everyone to just focus on quality and not quantity. And they're the key principles of crypto. Know the founder. Do they show themselves, or are they anonymous, right? Do you have to actually give up your tokens to earn whatever it is that they're trying to do? There's going to be single-sided staking, which is cool. Some of the protocols are going to have tax protocols on them. So do you know what those taxes that you're paying are to get in and get out? Like, so be mindful when you're using this money to treat it as if you didn't have that money in the first place and you're thankful that you had it. Because I know some people are like, yeah, it's cool if I just lost 5,000, and that's cool. And some people are okay with losing that amount of money. But then you look at it to where others and they get completely wrecked. And then, and so I just don't want to see that from anyone, man. That's what I really don't want.
Right.
Everyone thinks HEX is going to dump once the bridge opens. How low could it go? Yeah, I think it will dump, Clint. I am in the same belief that HEX will take a dump. And I can tell you why. It's because we've literally injected a bunch of traders into the HEX ecosystem that are here just for PulseChain. That they don't care about HEX. They don't stake. And I've looked at this on chain and on data before. Like, you can literally see they get in just to either pump up and get out after a good little 2x or even 50% profit. They don't even wait for a 2x in some cases. They just take 50% profit and then dump on the market because it's a quick trade that's easy to almost read, right? We've been trading between 3 to 10 cents since many months. That's a big range you can play in, right? And that for a trader, that's that's beautiful. Like, if you have a trade that goes sideways like this, that's perfect for traders. Because you don't have to worry about it running off, and we've seen it already be suppressed. So I don't see it going back above 9 cents, unfortunately, until we get past PulseChain launching. When PulseChain comes out, a lot of people, myself included, are moving some of their profits from PulseChain and PulseX back into HEX. Why? Because when you hold when you are literally holding millions of dollars in your possession at that point in time, do you have the gall and the brass balls to actually hold millions of dollars in your possession and not act like you're going to do something with it? Because you can literally look at it every day. Like, we're creatures of habit. We're creatures of, you're going to be like, wow, that's $1 million. Wow, that's $1,001. Wow, that's $2 million. And then you're going to be like, I'm not going to do anything with that. Like, you're crazy.
Right.
So many people are like, oh, I could cash out $1,000, $100,000. I could, like, so many things, right? Or you can just move 300,000 into HEX, like a lot of folks could do, and then have a good little staking ladder, buy up some cheap HEX, and then set that sucker up, and you pay yourself very nicely for 15 years, whether that's on Ethereum HEX or whether that's on PulseChain HEX. But yeah, so like that's why I don't think like HEX will drop, but it won't fall. HEX is going to drop, but I could see it going down probably about 70% from where it's at. So I think it could go down into the 3 cent range. I haven't done the math. So I would see it go down. Wow. I mean, that would bring us down into like the 2 cent range again. So because again, like there's a lot of traders that are just going to dump right now.
Yeah.
We have a big support wall at the 5.5 cents. And I've shown this before. But we have a big support wall at the 5.5 cents right now, which is cool. So this is where support is right here on HEX, 5.5 cents, and everything in between here is just kind of like trading right now. Everything to the right of the red line, sell orders. Everything to the left of the red line, buy orders. These are massive buy orders over here, basically.
It's thick right there.
Yeah.
Thick.
Yeah.
That's thick.
Yeah, it's so thick, right? Yeah. If you every single 3 candles that you see is about $1 million.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's a lot on that one too. But yeah, guys, you're going to be able to see quite a bit over here. Yeah. Anyone wants to hop in, come on in and join. Again, I know I just saw someone pop in the green room for a second. I didn't bring you on quick enough, maybe, but you're welcome to come on back in if you'd like. But yeah, we have a big wall there of support, so we have to get through that wall first. But a lot of people are also going to pull their liquidity too. Why would they do that? Right? One, they're using that as support right now for the price not to go below a certain range before PulseChain launches. But when PulseChain launches, they might pull that liquidity. Why would they pull it? Because they may want it to go lower, and then they can scoop it up even more. So instead of 5 cents, they go down to 3 cents.
Right.
So liquidity can always be moved and pulled and put in at different places during different times. So I always caution everyone, don't like focus so much on the wall because it can change. It's a moving thing. It's always moved. But yeah, I'm a believer that we will see it drop. But I also see it like big payday. For those of y'all who don't know, there was a thing called Big Payday in HEX, where basically it dropped down a good little 70% type deal, 80%.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, and it actually went back up also pretty fast too. So this is on monthly. Let me switch it up to weekly here. So Big Payday was here in this range. Well, Let me just put it on auto real fast. Big Payday was right here in this range. So November of 2020, right here, right before everything started happening. This was that Big Payday div. So you actually got to see within a week, it actually dropped 80%, right? Which is kind of why I'm using 80% as my number right now and saying like where it may go if it drops 80%, which puts us into that like 2 1-cent penny range. But I don't see us going there for long because look at this. The very next week, it was already back up again. And then within the span of a month, it's already back up to essentially back to that local high. Back then, it was all-time high. But within the span of a month, it was back to where it was. So I don't see it staying long, folks. But I do see it taking a dip and then going that route.
And you gotta remember too, there are some very large whales that have long stakes in Ethereum that want to see those stakes come out nice and juicy in 15 years.
Yep.
Someone like the God whale dropping like 200 million, USD value on a 15-year stake.
Right.
He's gonna defend that. You know what I mean? I don't think Ethereum HEX is going anywhere, but yeah, you're right. It could go through some turbulence for sure.
Yeah, and there's gonna be some turbulence for sure. I mean, like who knows exactly how far it'll actually all play out, like in the grand scheme of things. But in the span of about a month, I would see. That's why I don't see HEX being the play if you're trying to get into PulseChain.
Right.
Because
too crowded.
If you're using it to just simply be a tool, then you're going to get wrecked for probably about a month while you're waiting for that price to go back up to where it was. So like I caution everyone to just be kind of smart about it. Maybe it wasn't even, I mean, it was about that long. I'll just go zoom out here. And yeah, it was a span of 3 days where it dropped after the Big Payday. And then after that, it started pumping up again. So yeah, and again, from even the time where it dropped, it actually got a nice little 200% gain. You know what I mean? Like a nice little 3x from the bottom back then. So the way I plan on playing this myself is I already have limit orders in place set up to capture if the price does go down into a really ridiculous number. So if the price wants to drop to 3 cents, 2 cents, 2.5 cents, 2.2 cents, I got limit orders there, folks. Why? Because like you never freaking know. Like luckily for me, I've got a decent enough portion in my position already, so I can be patient and wait for it. If you don't, I always try to like advise people, make sure you get your bag ready before the PulseChain launch happens. Even if that means the price of HEX goes from 6 cents to 5 cents. That's like, I keep seeing people like, oh, I could wait till it hits 5. Like, no, that's such a silly play, folks. Because yes, there's going to be a small little downside, but the upside risk is way more reward.
I had a friend that I onboarded to like PulseX. I didn't get him on to PulseChain. He kind of came back.
What's up, Westcott?
What's up, Westcott? He did a pretty good amount for PulseX, and he started getting into HEX. And I kept telling him some of the bottom indicators there when HEX was getting down to like 2 cents, and he said, "I'm going to hold off. I'm going to wait till a penny. I'm going to wait till a penny." And he had like 20K ready to go. You know what? It never got to a penny.
I
and
know.
then it ran, and then it ran away from him, didn't it? And he goes,
I ain't touched
he-
2 cents since.
yeah, and he came back at me like a while back. He goes, "What the heck's going on? Why is it at 11 cents all of a sudden?" Because he's in, but he doesn't like he's not finger on the pulse like you and I are. You know what I mean? He's in, but I said, "Well, that just means that PulseChain and PulseX was kind of getting close. We're getting closer." And he goes, "Doggone, I missed my opportunity at a penny." I go, "Well, I mean, I was telling you, man, you should have been DCA, and from 3 cents down."
Yeah, no, and so it's funny that you say that. I had a buddy in the same scenario. He had been asking when to enter ever since it was like starting like 10 cents. It was like 10 cents to 9 cents to 8 cents, and he's like, "Man, should I enter?" And I'm like, "Dude, just don't ask that question and just DCA at least for now. Like, I don't. As long as you do a small bag, DCA, my friend. Like, I know you're gonna get a lot better if you just wait until the absolute bottom, but like there's no telling of when the bottom is. So DCA what you're comfortable with now, whether that's 5% of your stack or 10% of your stack, just DCA. And if the price drops, you do another 5% or 10% of your stack. If the price drops, 5%, 10%, right? Go that route. And luckily for him, he actually listened.
Good.
And I'm thankful that he listened, because he was in the same position when we were going down to that penny level, that he was like, "Man, I wish I would have just waited, because I want to get a big bag below 1 penny." And I'm like, we're lucky to see it at 1 penny, my friend. Like, the fact that it even touched 2 pennies, you're blessed. To anyone who bought it 56 cents, 50 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents, like, you're way ahead, leaps and bounds ahead of where they are. So I was like, just have fun and continue to DCA like you've been doing. And he was like, all right. And so, because he was seeing his bag drop, right? Because again, you got to imagine you're going from 10, 9, 8, 7, and every time you DCA, your bag still drops. Even though you pick up more HEX, your bag still drops, right? Yeah. And so he was in that same position where he was like, "Man, do I really, can I just wait?" And I'm like, "Shit. Hey, if it gets that low, have fun, but like, maybe have that little like moon money just ready to launch if it goes down below a penny." But continue DCAing, and he did, and we ran back up to 12 cents, and sure as shit, I was getting calls from him. He's like, "Dude, thank you so much. I've already grown my bag. Like, I think it was like 4 or 8x. I think his intro, or not 8x, it was 4x from his average. We did a 7x from the bottom, right? But it was a 4x from his average. And he was like, "Yeah, I've already grown my bag, 4x," because he was DCAing more and more as the price went down, as I was telling him. And I was like, "Dude, this is straight epic." And I can't wait to have those conversations when PulseChain launches. It's gonna be crazy, fam. Like, we're gonna see a lot of people do a whole bunch of crazy stuff, but a whole lot of people are gonna make a whole lot of money too.
Yep.
He says, "Can you imagine that there is a surprise on the day of the launch and that the prices are close to those of the testnet?" Yo, that would be sick. Like, I'll tell you right now, dude. If I think I saw HEX, or I saw PulseChain already around 7 cents, and I saw PulseX around 2 cents last time I looked. A whole lot of people would make a whole lot of money, my friend, if that is the case. I can tell you that much. Let me see what it's currently at right now. Now I'm curious. 1 pulse would get you around 6 cents for pulse, which is kind of what I expected. And yeah, for I like showing stuff, so might as well just share the screen. What the hell? Oh, I gotta share the whole window. Here you go. Cool. Yeah, so this is actually what we were looking at here just a second ago.
Dang.
So 1 PulseX would get you, it's roughly around 1.6 cents. So yeah, if you imagine what that is, that's 106x from sacrifice price, my friends. Just if you don't want to kind of do the math yourself, just to kind of give you a ballpark. And V4 has only been out since the 420, 419. So 3 days, 4 days. Like, that would be sick, for real. And then 1 pulse also got you, I think it was 6 cents. So that would be a 600x from sacrifice. In a few days. Yeah, that would be sick, Juan. A lot of people are just losing their freaking mind, though. Yeah, like, I don't think people are ready for that kind of gain. I think, some people are, don't get me wrong. What's up, Aaron? But yeah, a lot of people would just lose their ever-loving mind, my friend. Oh, the calls that I would get thanking me, dude. Like, those are always the best calls. Anyone that you get into the crypto space or our ecosystem, those calls when the price starts pumping and things are just on the rise again, and they're so thankful that you helped them from degen trading and getting out of the rat race and whatever it is. Like those calls are like the absolute best, dude. And like you said, that's a 600x for you as well would be a nice little at least cushion, should I say, for you to feel a little bit comfortable with retiring. So
to put it in perspective, a 10x retires me.
Exactly.
And that's just where I was at.
Yeah, and I've said the same thing. That's why I think the price of PulseChain starts out at a 10x. And so I actually made another little spreadsheet here. Pulse price. What did I call it? Pulse price prediction. Yeah. Let me see if I can open this up. Stop and whoops. Share. So this is a little pulse price prediction model spreadsheet that I came up with as well. And so, okay, cool. This is all updated. Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is based on ETH supply and based on the Uniswap supply. So ETH supply, I guess, is pretty low. I don't know exactly what's going on because this is all live current pricing and everything for the live current ETH supply. Maybe I didn't update this. Maybe because I had to change it up once Nomics went down. Boohoo Nomics. But I had to switch everything up with my live data. I ended up getting everything from Mobulify now. If any of y'all have never heard of it, neither had I until I went looking for it. But this is showing that we would get roughly about a 0.3 or a 3x from sacrifice price using the ETH supply model, and then roughly around an 82x from the Uniswap price model, which I think the Uniswap is more comparable to where we actually are right now, because it uses the current live HEX price with the live Ethereum price versus all the ratios with HEX and Uniswap, and then it puts the pool of where the AMM bot's actually going to start it at. And so based on all that, it would put us right around an 82x from sacrifice. So, yeah, I mean, a good little 10x for you right there isn't much, but beautiful. I mean, that's money right there in the bag for you, my friend. But yeah, it was pretty average around 13 to 14x for a long time. I want to go check on the ETH supply model. Maybe I got to change some math on there. I haven't looked at it in a second, but usually it was around 13x from launch, which is awesome.
I'll take it.
Dr. H.
Dr. H in the house.
Yes, sir. Booping the like and tweeting now, my friend. Much love. Thank you so much. Where do you place limit orders, ATX? Well, good question. Where do you use Compassion?
What do we got? You got CalSwap, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that I think we're going to have them. If he's asking if we're going to have them on PulseX, I do believe we're going to have them. I don't know why it hasn't been released yet. I have a suspicion that it might be just built into a little bit of the marketing. Because if we had them before, we could do it again.
Right.
I think it's just part of the process, part of the game theory. So
yeah, I mean, PulseChain we don't know for sure yet just now, but again, limit orders will eventually be on the decks for PulseX. So we just have to wait there. Now it's just a matter of time. Does it cost gas? Does it do any of that stuff? When it comes to the Ethereum side, I primarily use CalSwap for really two reasons. One, because if you're in the US, 1 inch is not allowed, which I used to use 1 inch all the time. And the reason why I use 1 inch, because you can set a limit order out there for 3 years and be Gucci. But the CalSwap allows me to go out to 60 days. I'm not 60 days, 6 months. I'm tripping. It allows me to go out to 6 months. So big fan of CalSwap. And you can see here, you can actually open up the little expiry day and go down to custom right here and actually choose this all the way out to 6 months out. So I could literally say October of 2022, basically. And then I can just set that custom date order in, and I would just put the price for whatever token I'm looking at getting, whether it be HEX, whether it be USDC, or whatever the token is, right? ICOSA, whatever that token is, it's all pretty good here. Just to kind of give you an idea, we'll say 1,000, and then you would just do HEX here at the current price. And this is where I do limit orders on the way down. This is how I have my limit order set for when the Pulse launch goes down. I see the HEX price taking at least a dip to some degree, and I plan on scooping all that up that I can. Why not? So I have limit orders that start going down every at 5 cents, down to 4.5, down to 4 cents, to 3.5, down all the way to 2, and all the way to 1 in all reality. But you can set it here at 2 cents, for example, and it'll tell you would get 45,000, which is again almost a 200% guarantee, more in profit than you would actually have if you just did a market buy right now. And then I can actually set this up out to October 22nd. So bam, beautiful way of doing it. I'm now actually a big fan of Portal Swap. I have tested it out with a couple of ideas or couple of tokens. I wanted to see how it worked and filled. This is made by Power City, so shout out to Power City. But I couldn't find ICOSA with CalSwap, so I actually used Portal Swap.
Yeah,
and it had ICOSA right there, and I was just like, all right, cool. And then you would just set $1,000 here, and you would set this price to where you want it to be at this point in time, right? And so you would say how much ICOSA you want to try to get. The downside to it is that everything was all in hours, which is weird in my opinion. Oh, okay. But like when you actually go through the expires end date right here, everything was all in hours. So like as you go down, you're like, okay, minute, hour, that's cool. Days, that makes sense. Then you click custom, and whoops, why does it keep zooming in too far? Zoom. Yeah, it zoomed in too far. Cancel. And zoom in that way. There you go. That's a lot easier.
There we go.
All right. So now if I click custom, there you go. It says everything in hours, bro. I was like, why did they do this? This doesn't make sense. So like you can literally go in on Google and type in like how many hours
right
6 months. And it does the math for you. But like I was like, I don't want to freaking figure this out. So I could go in here. And it allowed me to do this too. And I would say 4,380 hours, which is 6 months, right? But I was like, why does it do it in hours? This is so weird. So a little bit backwards there. I was kind of laughing when I first saw that. But yeah, it was kind of a neat little thing. So I could either click set to market, or I would choose the ratio here of what I'm trying to get. So just say like, for example, if you wanted to do 10,000, then the price would have to hit a certain thing. And it was a little bit weird to figure out, but once you get it figured out, it was kind of neat how it actually all worked. And it fills it. It actually does partial fills too, which is beautiful. So CalSwap, I think, either has to fill or kill. And that just means it either fills all the way or it kills the order completely. Portal Swap actually allowed me to do a partial fill, which was really cool. And then it filled the rest of the way, which was actually really cool. So shout out to Power City for making this. But these are kind of what I'm using now.
Yeah. It'd be cool to talk with Power City, see if we can't like talk to them about doing dates. And then, like, hey, can we sync this with our calendar too? Like that'd be kind of cool if you could sync like your stakes with like your calendar, really cool. your desktop calendars. If you put out a stake, with like 350 days, you want to be reminded like at 349,
right?
Like, hey, you have a stake coming out. Remember to go in there.
Cookie's got the right thing right here. Yeah, DCA and Pulse and PulseX are the first 2 years. Like you do that, and you just have a good strategy. And I've said this before on stream so many times, guys. $166 a month of DCA, which is $2,000 in a year. You can find $166 in a month. Like I guarantee all of us have gone and gone out to eat. You've gone and bought some drink or alcohol. You've gone and you got a cable subscription that you never even watch. You got all these other subscriptions that you never even watch. Like, cancel that shit for now. Do the sacrifice, because this is what you're doing. Sacrifice a little bit of that indulgence for right now for what could be massive things in the future. So $166 in a month for a month. And even if you ended up doing that for $2,000 in a year, after the first year, say you only get 1,000x, which is you may not capitalize everything. You may not get the full 10,000. You may not get the full 5,000 because your averages are in different areas. But if you do 1,000x during that time, you still turned it into $2 million. Okay, that's $2,000 turned into $2 million for a year of sacrifice. So please be patient. We have another special guest in here. First time. Well, let me welcome Dr. H, the crypto practitioner, to the house. Hello, Dr. H. How are you?
Hey guys, hey.
Welcome.
Hey, fella. Yes.
I'm not sure if you're going to get some feedback from me. It's the first time I've done this.
Love it. Yeah, I can't hear any feedback at this point in time from my side. Everything is sounding good. And if you ever do get feedback, I think you just go into the settings and click audio. There's an echo cancellation if you're having it play through your speakers, and it does a pretty good job with canceling it out. But welcome to the stream, my friend.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday.
Real pleasure to be here. Absolutely awesome, actually. I've been trying to catch you for many weeks. So it's great
I know.
to,
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, we've been
just
reaching
like to
out
say,
for a
first of
minute.
all, I love your show. I love your values, actually. That's one of the things I find most attractive. And you've just been dropping some great information.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've been just dropping some great information the last month and a half. I mean, really good stuff.
I appreciate that.
Liquidity providing and setting up sell walls and buy walls. That's just like, that is gold. That is gold.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you got to ask people to tweet this out. So everyone listening, you've got to tweet this show out, man. Like 46 people watching. Should be a couple of hundred people watching, because the stuff you give out is
oh yeah, always fun. Yeah, so I used to focus big on numbers.
The way you communicate is fantastic. So
yeah, I used to focus big on people's like watching.
Hope to add value as much as I can.
Well, yeah, we're happy to have you aboard. So yeah, come on in. We're happy to have you aboard, my friend, and happy to have you in the community. I know you've been reaching out on many streams, and we've actually had a few conversations behind the scenes too. So great to have you on, and would love to have you on many more streams in the future as well, my friend. You're always welcome. But it's something that someone once said, that like when you focus on numbers, you end up like when you're chasing something, it runs away from you because it does the opposite of what you want, right? And so like as you're chasing certain things, well, things are just running away, just like your money. Like people are chase money. That's wrong phrasing, right? Like you want things to attract to you. You want things to be attracted to you. You want the universe to bring things to you instead of you having to constantly chase. And so the viewers come with the overall and community engagement as well. But I've never been big on like, I only got 100 viewers, only got 20 viewers, only got 30 views. Like I've never been big on that. The people who tune in are great and amazing, and I love sharing all the information with every single person. I think if I could change one person's life in this game of crypto, I've felt like I've already made a huge difference, just me showing my face. And I know from this point in time, I've already changed several people's lives, but I want to see that even more now at this point in time. I want to continue to just change one person's life, and that's my goal.
Yeah, one at a time.
Yeah, one at a time.
One of my big mentors, one of the big chiropractic mentors, and he used to see thousands of people in a week. And I said, how'd you get it? And he said, I see one person at a time, the person in front of me.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a great thing.
Right.
Do you have any questions?
I mean, I've really slow. I've started a channel. I was hoping to have 6 videos, beginners videos, and like real beginners, basic videos. Because one of my, I'm a chiropractic doctor now, but previously I was in the military. And the word doctor means to teach. It comes from Latin docere, it means to teach, doesn't mean to heal. And the old chiropractor said there's only 2 things a human can cure. That's bacon and ham. Because it's the body it's the body that does the healing, not the human being. All we do really is remove interference. If we're lucky, in some cases we actually put more interference in. That happens quite a lot, but anyway. And so I just found that was really interesting. That doctor really means to teach. So I used to say to people, you sat down with your medical doctor, what do they teach you? And it's like, well, nothing. You just walk away with something. So it's been my mission to try and teach like my people when they come here to see me. They got a little bit more of an awareness of the body. And so that's why I thought, well, I'll start this basic channel. Because, I mean, I bought at 42, so I bought at the top, really. My kids, I got them in first at 12, so that was pretty neat. I bought at the top and DCA'd down. Or DCA'd mostly when it was at the bottom, which was good, which was useful. So it's got me back down to about 10 cents. So I'm happy with that. So, but of course I knew nothing, and if I'd known a little more, then I would have made a few less mistakes, possibly. So just starting a channel, and the reason that it's for basic, I thought it would be a good idea because there's only 3 coins I talk about. Bitcoin, which I hold none of, but it was the beginning. It was like the Wright brothers with the plane. The Wright brothers created flight. There's no taking that away. But do I want to cross the ocean on the Wright brothers or a Kitty Hawk? No, I don't. I want a nice solid Boeing 747. The other thing that so Bitcoin, Ethereum, because that was the first coin I got excited about because it did stuff, and then I heard about I heard about it probably before I heard Richard. Then I heard Richard speak when I was working on a roof one day, just repairing my roof. I had about 5 hours up there listening to him, and at the end of it, I was like, right, let's buy some of this HEX stuff for the kids. So that's kind of how it happened. And then, but when you go, the influences I had at the time were like Coin Bureau,
right?
And I like the guy. He's British and he's funny, and it's really well done. But now I know what I know. I look back and I'm like, but I'm not. That stuff that he's selling isn't the stuff people should be buying. They need to be buying Richard Hart products, and not because they're Richard Hart products, but because they are good, great products.
Well, I mean, you look at just looking at everything.
I don't talk about HEX as such, although all the examples I will be using will be based on HEX, based on HEX or Richard Hart products. So in other words, when we do liquidity providing, we'll be doing it on PulseChain, and when we do how do you buy coins, we'll be buying HEX and we'll be buying PulseChain. So hopefully we'll get some support from the community. It is for beginners, so it's not for like your guys are probably mostly advanced. But if you just watch it and turn the sound down while you're watching another stream, that would be appreciated. It'll throw some love my way.
There you go.
Unfortunately, it hasn't gone as quickly as I have. I've got like 1.5 videos done. I'm working on one now. The 10 Commandments of Crypto.
Yeah, you always want to have whenever whenever I first start streaming and stuff, the idea of teaching and all that good stuff was something that I was definitely looking forward to. Once content starts getting made, it happens a lot faster overall, and you just get better and smoother and more efficient. So sometimes just making that first product and first video and throwing it out there and just letting it happen is just kind of where it goes. But yeah, we're always happy to help with the community. It's something that we've always done, and especially with the teaching, I think everyone needs some education and to hear things from other perspectives and said, even it could be the same exact thing, but said from another different person will be received from two different or from the same person. So we definitely need all the content creators that come along, and we're happy to have you above as well. Yeah, for us, I got a fresh cut, my friend. I appreciate the notice on that.
You got the fade.
Yeah,
hey, Dr. H. Yeah, I got Dr. H. I see you in the No Permissions. We're in the No Permissions group with Randy Hilarski there.
Yeah.
So I see you. I see you around, bud. You're doing your thing. Good for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Cookie says, will it drop back down if it does those crazy 600 X's in the first days, or should we wave it goodbye? No, I'll definitely dip down. So reentry.
Could I ask you a quick question? Because you've been on the test net on PulseChain, and setting liquidity. Because I've just got onto it now. I'm going to have a little play when we get launch. But what I wanted to do was I was trying to set liquidity at a certain level. But with PulseChain, if you do double-sided, am I right to say you can only take the level it's currently at?
Yeah. So the way liquidity providing works when it comes to PulseX is it uses a full range, meaning you have to provide both pairs of the same. You have to provide the same side. You have to provide the same amount of both pairs. So if you have $1,000, we'll say you have to provide $500 worth of Pulse and $500 worth of PulseX. You can't adjust that or move it around at all. The reason why is because it's using Uniswap V2, which is version 2, and Uniswap was a full range pull back then. And then they created Uniswap V3, which allows you to narrow down the pull. And you can actually set ratios. So you could do $100 worth of Pulse and $900 worth of PulseX.
And that's what
not
gives
available.
You the level of liquidity. That was
that's
really
not available.
That's kind of sends you a limit order when you do that. Yeah.
Yep. So now, it's a full range that you're playing in though. So you have to provide the same amount on both pairs. So if it's HEX and Pulse, you have to put $500 worth of HEX, $500 worth of Pulse, and then go that route. All the liquidity providing will have the exact same pairs. And then as the coins move up and down price, that's when they start fluctuating. So you'll have $400 worth of Pulse, $600 worth of HEX, and vice versa. And then you'll have $300 worth of Pulse, and even less, you know, you'll have $700 worth of HEX over here. And that range is going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And that's called impermanent loss. So if you pull the liquidity at that time, you're going to have the one that did worse. You're going to be left with the coin that did worse, which is why providing liquidity can be a dangerous gambit sometimes if you don't fully understand how it works.
Right. Now, if you wanted to set, say, for example, say we were at 10, but you wanted to set it so that everything happened around 15, the impermanent loss, because, for example, in my case, I want to use Pulse to buy PHEX because I want to fill up bags of PHEX, but I don't want to just do it at any price. I want to get an advantageous price. So I can only do that with V3. That's correct, isn't it?
Sounds like you're debating. Are you? So there's a swap with ratios, and then there's the liquidity you're providing.
No, liquidity providing. I think you do, but you can use liquidity to provide and to get out of your position, can't you?
That's correct.
Yeah,
so that's what I want to do. I want to get out of a position with, say, 1,000 or 10,000 PLS into a good ratio of HEX, like 30-1 or something like that.
That is primarily going to be V3 in that play to get out in that regard, because you're always going to be having, because it plays a full range of pull with V2. So you're always going to have some coins. Like you can't get out of one position into the other position completely when you're in a V2 pull.
Right. Okay.
So you can make that play to end up with more of the other, but it's not the same play that you would make with V3. V3, you can really make that play and do exactly what you're trying to do, because you can set it well above the price, and if it goes into that price and it switches everything of one coin into the other coin, it's beautiful, and then you pull liquidity, and it's awesome. With V2, you're just in a full range, and it's very difficult without knowing where the liquidity is, how much the liquidity is, or how much a coin has gone up, and how much all these other factors have come into play. That's why V2 kind of like stinks, if you ask me. It's cool to earn yield and some additional passive income that way, because if you just trade within a certain range, then it's awesome. We're in a beautiful system. But if you're trying to swap one for the other, it's not really the best play for that.
So I'm right to say that on launch we will or won't have V3. In fact, I didn't.
We will not.
We will not. No.
Yeah, it's already been confirmed by Brett Tepp that we will not have V3, at least not at the time of launch.
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
Yep. And he's just.
I do think it will come though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and
know what I mean?
Well, the benefit. So the cool thing is when PulseChain launches, the testnet, last version of testnet, whatever that is, V4, V4.5, V4B, whatever you want to call it, is going to be the main testnet for PulseChain at that time. So everything that's going to be coming into the future of PulseChain, we will already see on the testnet.
Oh, really? So it's not starting from scratch like all the testnets keep starting from scratch again?
No, the testnet won't start from scratch, I don't believe, because it'll just be a running consensus at that time.
So mainnet won't start from scratch, yeah?
Mainnet will start from scratch, yeah. Yeah, mainnet's a brand new Genesis block.
Okay, sorry. I thought you said everything that we see on the last testnet will also be on mainnet.
Oh, yeah, no, I could see how that's confusing. No, what I meant is when testnet's a thing, the testnet will remain that testnet permanently going forward. And when mainnet's a thing, mainnet will be the entire system. Okay. So we will see things introduced onto testnet ahead of time, which is awesome. So you'll see things like limit orders. You'll see things like Uni V3. You'll see all these things implemented on testnet, and then you'll see it moved over into mainnet, which is really cool for everyone who's wanting to see that kind of stuff happen.
Yeah, and obviously practice with it as
and
well.
Obviously, yeah, and obviously practice with it, so it's not, so they don't get wrecked trying it for the first time.
Yep. Okay. You got family asking you questions there, bud?
Perfect weather.
Yeah, I know, it is perfect weather. Love you.
She's like wrap it up. Let's go have fun.
Yeah.
No, see. Right now, the wife just got home and she's taking the pups out and stuff because I always keep the dogs in here with me, and so she was just letting me know how beautiful weather it is, and maybe we'll go for a nice little adventure out today. So we'll see. because it is beautiful weather here in Texas right now. Beautiful weather. I don't know how the weather is everywhere. I hope everyone's having a fantastic weather as well, because it's
The
beautiful.
snow is just gone.
It's what?
The snow has just gone.
Oh yeah.
Literally walking in the forest yesterday, and there's still ice on the floor. I was like, man.
1 sec.
So, Crypto Compassion, how long have you been in the space?
I got into crypto in 2020.
Nice.
I got into a crypto called Cardano ADA, and then I kind of found the HEX community in January of 2021, and I kind of fell in love with the real deal. Really, when it comes down to it, I wasn't really, like anything in crypto, you kind of get into a little bit of this fringe meme type stuff, but I'm happy that I found DeFi and true crypto relatively quickly, and I didn't, bump my head on a bunch of fake and phony stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think of Randy? Randy's alpha.
Oh, I love Randy. Randy and I
good viewpoints.
Yeah, Randy and I, he's allowed me to have many Zoom calls along my journey with him, just me and him, and I do see myself bugging out down to Panama in the future, just to hang out with him and kick it. And who knows, maybe if things continue in the U.S. the way they're going, I might have to have a bug out place down there. I don't know, a crash pad.
That would be dope. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to have. I've never been a fan of renting houses to anyone and having that whole thing, but like having houses in multiple locations is something I'm looking forward to. And yeah, I think I could see myself visiting some nice little Panama action as well. I mean, Randy's fire though.
He's fire, and like you said, I'm not saying like 200 or 300K is like nothing in the future, but like you said, if you have to get a condo down there and just tell Randy, hey, kind of go check on it every once in a while, and if things go to hell in a handbasket, I might be heading down there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm right there. I'm right there with all of y'all, man. And oh my gosh.
ATS, Can I share a book with you?
Can you do what?
Could I share a book with you?
Of course.
Yeah, I'm a bit older, so I'm a bit 20th century. And I'll tell you real briefly. I went through Iraq, Afghanistan, and former Yugoslavia, came back, had a couple of beautiful children that have turned up to, they're like 16 and 18 now, 19. Well, about a year ago, no, more than that, probably 3 years ago, I was probably in a bit of a funk. And I said to myself, I'd write down my 10 most influential books. And I'd put it in my will, because I was making my will at the time. So I kind of went through this process. And then after a couple of days, I was like, you bloody idiot. You're still alive. Why don't you just go through them with them? So I bought these books, and it's books like Think and Grow Rich, The Secret. There's loads of them. But I've come across this one, which I don't know if you've heard. Have you ever heard of this? It's a guy called Wallace D. Wattles. Oh, nice one, Compassion. And it's called The Science of Getting Rich, which I've read in the past, but I've dug this out again now. And if you've ever heard of a movie called The Secret, have you heard of that? Or anyone in the chat heard of that? Yeah. Real popular book. Real popular movie and book. But the lady, I don't have a name on the top of my head, but the lady went through a bad period. And when she was at the depths of her depression, her daughter gave her this book, Wallace D. Wattles. And have you ever heard the phrase, an attitude of gratitude?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in this book. And he wrote it in 1911.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but when I heard that phrase, I thought it was a Tony Robbins or something.
No, I've read a lot of books, even because I was in sales for a long time when I got out of the Marine Corps. And so I went through the whole Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie, the Think and Grow Rich, and,
Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like exactly. Richest Man in Babylon. Like I've gone through all of those. I can probably do myself a favor and go back and sometimes just rereading them, because it's always good to re-up on your knowledge of the topic and everything like that.
Yeah.
Because it's all, while it's been read once before, twice before by me, it's something that was done years ago at this time. So yeah, it's always cool to see a new item. So I would definitely love to do it. And what was the name of the book one more time again?
It's well, the book is The Science of Getting Rich, and I'll tell you now, you can download it completely free from that website, The Secret. In fact, if you search for it, you can download it for free. But to be honest, just so I've got in a handy format that I can mark up, I like having books because I know where all my notes on it are. I just write all over them and rip them apart.
Right.
But the first chapter, for example, this is The Science of Getting Rich. First chapter, chapter 1, is the right to be rich. And he talks about a process that any person can get rich if they follow the sequence. And the secret was really only 50% of what he talked about. And it's a very short book. It's literally 47 pages long. So you can read it in 3 or 4 hours. But I've just finished reading it again. I'm going to reread it and reread it because there's so much. There's an entire chapter on gratitude, which I'm a big proponent of getting up in the morning, saying what you're grateful for. I personally like to get on my knees. That's just the way I do it.
Yeah.
But everyone, in my personal opinion, I think everyone would benefit from being grateful. And he's got an entire chapter 7 is on gratitude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, the one
I've been cool thing. Sorry to interrupt, but one really cool aspect of this whole thing, he said that the person that's trying to become rich by creation is far superior, or is going to have far better results than trying to become rich by competition. Which brings us back to HEX, which is about creation and generating yield rather than trying to trade and steal off the guy on the other side of the screen. So that sort of stuff is just beautiful. And he talks about it right here. He says that the creative process is the route to getting rich. But I won't. Maybe we can do something on it another day.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's always good to share the knowledge. I mean, I got into reality transurfing because Jake Sharp mentioned it and had a conversation with it. I've gotten into several other books, obviously with the Sci-Vibe and, How to Fix the World and all that good stuff with Richard Hart. I've read those and then SJ making it audio and audible, and oh man, shout out to SJ. So so it's really fun. I'm an audio guy now because I guess I've just lost my attention span for reading. I don't know. I mean, it's something that I sit down, and if I'm not in my office, I have a very difficult time reading. I may only get a few pages in, and then I set down the book and I get distracted by something. So I love listening to stuff on audio because I can go back and just re-listen and that kind of stuff. But that's definitely something I'll be looking into as well. I've got it written down, got it pulled up. So appreciate you sharing that with us, Dr. H.
Oh, my pleasure. My underlying thing is if you're educated and you read those books, then you have an ability. Because I'm a businessman, I don't know a lot of work. Like yourself, a salesperson, you gotta make money. You gotta
have the acumen to make.
You gotta keep the lights on. You gotta make money. So I've always been interested in that. But the sudden wealth syndrome, I think the people that would be affected more by that would be people without some sort of financial basis of an education. It doesn't have to be like an in-depth education, more of a practical education. And the more you understand to deal with it, the longer you're going to keep your money for yourself, and not yourself, for your generations to come, the legacy.
Well, some folks are here just for that money themselves too, to be fair. They don't everyone's got their own mentality of what they're looking forward and what they want out of all this, and to each their own. I know myself, I'm here for the generational wealth where I can make sure that my kids don't have to go through the same struggle that I went through growing up, and have a little bit more luxury in life and that kind of fun. So I'm just setting that up already. I'm making the steps to get that done and making sure they're also financially savvy enough. So that way, because we don't talk about money in terms of people, you don't talk about money with friends, really. You don't talk about money with school. And so you have to learn the hard way half the time, and learning the hard way is a bad way to get done sometimes. So we definitely have many conversations about the value of a dollar. I mean, I was actually at HEB the other day and laughing. they used to give out these, they still do, these things called HEB Buddy Bucks, which is a grocery store here in the Texas area. And they give out these little buddy bucks, which is like this little $1 bill. And you put it in, you pull a little machine. And I'm like, dude, they're like fucking programming these kids to gamble when they're already like, you know, 6-month-old, 1-year-old baby. And I'm like, get that gambling mentality out your minds. Like that, you know, like treat it like, and my kid would actually hold on for a long time. They just hold on to their buddy bucks and we collect them until, and then they'd have a certain amount. And then we would go spend it at once and have a good little fun that way. But it was a different little mindset because they just, you know, some folks, you see kids freaking out now if they don't get the buddy bucks. They're like, what? And you're like, what the fuck? Over freaking, you know, this stupid ass little toy that they give you. It's nothing crazy. And yeah, everyone needs to have some sort of conversation about money. And I think that's the benefit of what we do here is helping people open their mindset to making money, but also what to do when they have the money, which is awesome that we have a compassionate community, very compassionate community when it comes to helping others. Most people have done very well for themselves already in terms of a normal life in our ecosystem. And so now a lot of people will take time and, like you said, compassion, set up talks where you're just having fun with other people. And it's just, here's what I got going on in life. And I know coming from the Black community, even you don't really talk even emotions. Right. And so it's kind of one of those things that we are opening up quite a bit about. But yeah, like Hex Auto says, everyone needs money, and that's why they call it money. Yeah, it's a saying from the movie Heist. That's funny. But yeah, there's definitely a mentality rise. So I'm right there with you, Dr. H, and Crypto Compassion, my friend.
Yeah, Dr. H, you speak about gratitude, and I know something that kind of was impressed upon me a couple months ago is like gratitude, and we see a lot of hate in the world. Gratitude and hate can't live in the same place, you know. So when you put your focus, you know, out the gate in the morning on gratitude, all that negativity of hate can't dwell in your mind at that moment when you're in that gratitude state. You know what I mean?
It's a lifesaver.
Yeah, it is a lifesaver.
Great medicine.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to even be in that situation for a lot of people to envision themselves in that situation. Because, you know, we've been told from a very young age, you go to work a good job, you go to get a good degree, and you move up the ranks of a corporate building and a corporate job. And, you know, like that's something that we've all had ingrained upon ourselves for a very long time. It's why you hear people say the phrase like teachers are heroes. And it's like, I love teachers. I love everything they do for what they do, especially the fact that they don't get paid what they should. But it's something that we've been told since a very young age. And it's that programming that just kind of gets a lot of people. And you just got to break out of that little program mindset and learn how to encompass your own wealth, and learn how to actually understand it and what it's going to do for you and how you can make it better for you as well. Because half the time when you get the wealth, guys, you just want to maintain it. Like at the same time, it's like you aren't looking for the moonshots anymore, the 10,000 X's. You're like, where can I just go to park this for a 3X? Which is why Bitcoin, like you mentioned, Dr. H, can be great for a lot of people who may have already got the money. Yes, they can go make a lot more money somewhere else, but Bitcoin's been a very stable coin, and it has the potential of doing like a nice little 2-3X over the span of the next couple years, which is a lot for the normal folks in the stock market world, but it's really not that much in the grand scheme of crypto. So it's like everyone has their nice little balance act on it, and we're all just trying to fit in where we can at the same time.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I look forward to it. I look forward to spending, being on the journey with you guys and all the guys in the chat as well.
Yeah, it's a fun journey. Yeah, if y'all have any questions for us as well, I'll rock this here for about another 17 minutes, and then I'll be hopping off myself. I'm going to go enjoy this beautiful, lovely day. I highly advise people getting out of the house as much as they can when they can. Sometimes sitting back and on the couch is nice and relaxing, and sometimes we need it. But don't let yourself, don't fool yourself to just like do nothing for the day, right? Take the bull by the horns, as they say, and go have a great day. Shit, Hexodle's stupid. I love you, Hexodle, by the way. Win lunch moon, win moon, Lambo, sir. Hey man, you know, everyone's gonna have that lifestyle that they want, but I would say if you do well in this 2025, 2026 bull run that we're going into, you're gonna have a nice Lambo. And it's not that hard to do well during a bull cycle in crypto. We've talked about it in the past. You could literally close your eyes, throw a dart at a board, and probably make some money during bull runs. It's when the bear market hits that you find out the true cryptos that can stand the test of time, like HEX and Ethereum and Bitcoin, because they've gone through the bear cycle at this point. And those are the ones that you really want to be looking for, right? Those are the like PulseChain. We haven't seen it go through a bull or bear cycle yet, so we don't know what's going to happen, but probably good bet that it's going to do good. But yeah, 2025, 2026, beautiful time. 2025 is looking beautiful for a lot of folks. And that could be a nice little 100x from HEX, which would be putting us in the ballpark of $6. Not too out of the ballpark, in my opinion. And could go much higher from there. And then you also have Ethereum, which is probably going to do a nice little 8x, 10x as well. So we could see it in the ballpark of, 10, 15,000. Downside to it is we have to pay the Ethereum fees. If Ethereum does well, we have to pay a lot more in fees. I was looking at this the other day, man, and like I don't mind Zen for what it is. I mind Zen that it punishes everybody else. I was looking here, and just earlier today, I wish I had taken a screenshot, but just earlier today, the gas fees were around like 54 Gwei. And 5 out of the 15 protocols had to deal with Zen. And I was like, come on, man. That's not good. Like, it's good for Ethereum in the long run because it just means Ethereum's getting burned, right, through the EIP 1559 protocol, blah, blah, blah. But I was just looking at it, and I was like, man, darn you. That's the only thing I don't like about it is that everyone else gets punished. I want everyone to make money, though. I really do. So however you make money and however it feels comfortable for you, if you make money, dude, perfect. Go make your money. How do we even buy Lambo crypto? You go to a country that they accept crypto. Pretty easy in that regard, or just convert it to cash. But I mean, there's so many, like you can go buy, there's a website or company called CRM Jewelers. I'm thinking about going there pretty soon to go get myself a little nice watch that I've been waiting on for a very long time. But you can pay with crypto, which I am a big fan of. And you can just do a nice little transaction and boom, you literally have it done and sent within a couple of minutes. It's crazy. But they're out there in Florida. So there's a lot of companies that are actually accepting crypto.
I'm pretty sure Motley. Yeah.
Just a quick question. Sorry to talk over there, crypto compassion. Yeah. I was thinking of accepting crypto in the office, but to me, it would seem to make sense to start accepting it in the middle of a bear market and then stop accepting it quite, before the bull gets to the top.
Right.
Has anyone had any experience either buying or selling or anything like that? Anyone in the chat might be able to put in a link.
No, but I've considered doing the same thing for like Airbnbs. Like if I get a house in Vegas for everyone here, I would accept HEX. And if the house is paid for, I would have stipulations where I would say, hey, I'm not going to even sell it. I'll stake it. But like if it's, the going rate's like $700 a night, I'll take $700 worth of HEX. But hey, guess what? I'm not going to even sell it. It's going to get staked. But then maybe when the tide shifts, it might turn to like stable coin. When it's kind of like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm not looking to, catch falling knives either. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're aware of what the market's doing and you feel like, if you're taking crypto on the behalf of someone's chiropractor and they pay you, I'll just throw a number out there, like $100. Well, if you didn't sell that crypto for a month, maybe you might actually have gotten $120 in the bull market. So you got 20% gains because you just decided to delay it for like a month, and then you sold out of it. But then when the tide shifts a little bit, you might want to say, hey, I'm taking stablecoin now.
Yeah,
and then you're getting a dry powder bag.
Yeah, I would just caution when it comes to to taking crypto just because of taxes and unless you have a better understanding, because the way I'm of the understanding is if you receive crypto, you have to go based on the full value of what it is, even if it's in payment. So like while the payment may only be $100, they look at the value of the Ethereum at the time. And so it's one of those weird little things that you end up opening up unless you have a really good accountant who understands the world of crypto. It's probably I would probably stay away from accepting for now, at least until you understand it a little bit better when it comes to how crypto taxes work. Because a lot of the times what they do when for people who accept crypto, most times they just exchange it directly into stable right away. So it literally will go from crypto to stable and crypto to stable and crypto to stable. And so even during a bear market, bull market, it just whatever that payment is, that way they have that amount. Even if it was to go up later, you typically go from crypto to stable. And so unless you're familiar when it comes to the tax laws and payments and that kind of stuff in crypto, I tend to avoid it. I think DCC would probably be a very good person to ask in that regard, because I know they have made and received many crypto items in the past, and I'm sure he would have at least a better answer for you there. Because it's if you do accept it, I would continue accepting bear or bull, because people will pay all the time.
All right. Okay. And then the thing to do is even in a bull, when you get into the top of a bull market, you would just shift it to stable straight away.
Yeah. I mean, and again, if like someone has the ability to pay during the bull and say Ethereum's $8,000, $10,000 at the time, and they've held on to their Ethereum for a very long time and it's a very small amount and they can pay, like that's cool. But yeah, I would actually go, if you accept it, just go full time on accepting.
Really, it just gives me an in to speak to the people that are already under CAR. They say, you can accept crypto. In fact, I'm doing a little course on it. I've got a whole website on it. Why don't you check out my channel?
Okay, there you go.
Oh, what's this HEX? It's funny you should mention that. I'm having a talk in 2 months' time. Should we put you down for it?
Is that a HEX patch on your coat back there?
Oh, this is
the hexologist.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized the little HEX logo on it. You know, I see.
This is Satoshi, my assistant. He features in some of my videos.
Very good.
Satoshi Nakamoto, live in person, folks. Y'all seen it. Coinbase has a debit card that can use crypto or USDC and some money or some percent back from purchases. You can simply swap to USDC and send to Coinbase and use credit card right away. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different ways of doing it. So I would just look into that world. It's not something I'm well versed in, so I'd hate to give you the wrong information on.
No, I was just wondering if there was a information source somewhere. I'll check out a couple of videos.
Yeah, I would say dollar cost crypto will do AMAs. I think it's every Friday as well. I mean, maybe it's every Saturday. I don't even remember. He does a lot of them very often, and him and his partner, they've been in this ecosystem for a very, very long time, and they've received payments in crypto for many, many things. So I would look into that. Maybe I would reach out to even probably HEX merch. I'm sure they've received some. Anyone who has like a merch store that accepts crypto, reach out to them.
Cool.
Yeah. I would just look into someone who's received it. Do you recommend liquid loans? Can we recommend anything at all? I don't know.
That's a good point.
I mean, everything's a risk, and it's just the amount you're willing to take to see it happen. Liquid loans is a fork of Liquidity. Liquidity's never had any issues at this time. I don't know why liquid loans would have any issues at this time. Power City's also coming out with their own token called Earn, which is going to be for PulseX. It's a way, if done properly, can be used very well. Once again, there's tax implications. When you borrow money, sometimes you don't borrow money from a bank and take out a loan. You don't have to pay taxes on that, obviously. And this is a similar premise with liquid loans. So you just got to do your own research there. If done wrong, you could screw yourself, though. because you're taking on leverage. And
Yeah.
we say it all the time, the 3 ways to get screwed are liquor, ladies, and leverage.
Mhm.
So if you stay properly collateralized, cool. And if you don't understand what collateralized means, probably shouldn't be messing with liquid loans. Like that would just be my beginning to liquid loans. I'm a fan. I will use them sparingly. There's a good way of having it done without screwing yourself. And if the price of Pulse ever reaches a certain number and never comes back down again, then there's a point in time then technically you can never have to pay back that loan, which is really cool. Because it's not like a monthly payment system. You just pay back when you decide. But yeah,
I'm keeping my eye on them. You know, if in crypto we are the bank, if you are, in many ways, we get a lot of advice from people, but it is a solo sport in many ways. But liquid loans could be a big benefactor in regards to, like, if you had something like, if you're buying real estate and you wanted to pay yourself back, if you wanted to get a piece of property and fix it up, or if you wanted to get it and refinance out of it, after you fix it up and, pay yourself. I think it'd be good to always pay yourself back is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So
it's neat. It's neat. It calls you, if you want it, it allows you to never sell, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Is that actually true though?
What's that?
I've heard that used quite a lot as a marketing kind of thing. It allows you to not actually sell your coins, but at the end of the day, isn't it? If you take it out in in a bear market, you're in a much safer position because you're taking money out based on your crypto. If the crypto goes up and then you need to get your crypto back, you're paying more money to get your crypto back. Aren't you? More stable coin to get your crypto back because the price of that has gone up, which is why I can't quite get my head around it. I am a beginner, but it just didn't sound attractive to me.
So you never pay money back to get it back. So you enter it into a protocol and you can just take a loan out on that money. The Pulse stays there, right? And so the idea is that you can use that money to go make money somewhere else would be the hopeful idea of doing it. You can also use it to deposit to earn some additional yield through their stable coin and their own protocol as well. And it just enters in a world of you having to get everything done. And eventually, should you want that Pulse back, then you could go back and just re-enter it in. But yes, that's what we talk about with the proper collateralization. If you stay at 1,000% collateralized, which is a very good number, you can basically handle like a 91% drop from the high to the low. And it's very rare that coins do 91% drop. If you want to be like extremely collateralized, you can be like 5,000% collateralized. And that could basically handle like a 99% drop. And it's so rare that you see a 99% drop in coins unless it's getting rugged. So like the idea behind that is you just have to put in a certain amount of Pulse that you're willing to allow yourself to risk, not even risk, that you're willing to allow yourself.
It, can you? If you're not collateralized enough and the price changes rapidly, you can lose it though. Yeah, isn't that?
Yeah, you get entered into a situation where it gets called. Yeah, you get liquidated.
Yeah.
And when you get liquidated, it just goes out to other people to claim and that kind of stuff. So you could lose your Pulse in that regard, which is why you don't want to like go in with all of it. Like, so yeah, anyone who's going in at the top of the bear market in 2025 to Pulse to liquid loans, probably a bad time because you're going to be seeing the price drop soon after. And a lot of people are going to be like 200% collateralized because they've been in a bull market for the last 2 years. And that's what people are going to get wrecked whenever they start seeing the price start dropping. And yes, you can put in more Pulse to over collateralize and that kind of stuff, but it's brutal. But yeah, 1,000% would allow you to at least handle like an 89% drop in price. So it just depends on where you want to be, how comfortable you are, that kind of stuff.
And by 1,000%, what you're saying is you borrow $100, but you got to put $1,000 worth of crypto in.
So like let's say your PulseChain is at I think a healthy scenario would be, let's say when liquid loans comes out initially, and let's say your PulseChain runs up to like 2 million. Well, when it comes back down to 1 million, you might want to consider a ratio of like 1 to 10. So that means you take like a $100,000 loan out, knowing that the million has already retraced from 2 million, and maybe that's the first little kind of floor.
Right.
And then from that point, as we go into the bull market, there's a good chance it's never going to come back down to your 100,000 ratio of you having to, it's like the idea of do you think you'll ever get sub penny HEX? Probably not. So if back in the day that kind of tool was in place for HEX or something like that, and OGs were able to maybe take out a loan against their HEX, and they're like, well, I don't think it's going to go, at this point, I don't ever see it really going below a penny again.
Cool.
Thank you. So as the bull market continues, you're putting yourself in more risk, because just like Ethereum went up to almost $5,000, just imagine if you thought, at $3,000, I could take out a loan. Well, Ethereum's already gone down below $3,000, so you would have got liquidated. You know what I mean? So,
that's good, Passion. Thanks. Yeah, that definitely helps.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way of explaining it too. And I'm a spreadsheet guy myself, so you got to figure out the spreadsheet and that kind of stuff, and type in the numbers, see how it all makes sense. I'm making a little spreadsheet myself as well for this exact scenario, because I love, I don't want to have to do this math myself, because I'll type in the wrong number and screw it up. But if the system and math and I've seen it done and it works out and I can verify, then that's what I trust. So as long as you have a good understanding, then you're absolutely right. Yeah, if you wanted to take out a $200 loan, you would have to put in $20,000 for that 1,000% collateralization. Nothing. I did.
Okay, he's got to go now.
Yeah, we should let him get on to the day of sunny weather
in Texas.
Oh yeah. No, the doggy didn't eat anything today for breakfast. Sad little puppy. So we got 4 dogs here, and so she was just checking on it. But yeah, time is actually ticking right here. So yeah, let me see here. We got a few last questions. Let me see.
Davis in the house.
That Satoshi seems to have wide eyes open. Wide eyes open to the new technology. There you go. Cookie, we love that. Is it safe to use an exchange, Coinbase, to off-ramp 6 figures? Yes. But you fucking test, folks. You test. If it's your first time off-ramping, on-ramping, anything like that, you test. You test the transaction first. You make sure that the money gets where it says it's going to go to. You don't just set up a wire for 6 figures for the very first time if you've never done that before. It's a bad idea. You make sure that the money gets there, so you can literally set up a wire for $100. Pay the fee. Doesn't even matter. Just do it. Set up a wire for $100. Make sure it gets where it's supposed to go. Cool. It got to the address you wanted it to go to. Cool. Now, maybe do another test transaction or do it in small chunks. This is where you want to depend on how much risk you want to take. The centralized exchange, you have to understand, can shut down in any second now, like we've seen time and time again, within the blink of an eye. So how much money do you want to put at risk all at once? Most times, if you have $100,000, we'll say, it might be smart to do it in 10 transactions. So you only put 10% of the money at risk at once. So you on-ramp 10,000, you do another 10,000, you move it off. Do another 10,000, you move it off. You do another 10,000, you move it off. So on and so forth. That exchange for centralized exchange is just a interim point of that money. It should not be where the money stays. I do not recommend going all in at once with all your money, even after you do the test transaction, because that could just be the day that they decide to shut down, and we don't know what that day could be. And I'd hate to see all that money just get locked up right away. So instead of doing 10%, maybe you bump it up to 25%, right? So you do 25,000 at first, and then you do another 25,000, and then you do another 25,000. And every single time you're moving on and you're taking off. You're moving on and you're taking off. That way, if at the worst, you end up losing 25% of your bag or 10% of your bag or whatever that number is. So yes, you can, but there's a smarter way of doing it without putting it all at risk all at once.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense. And yeah, and I've done the 6 figures. It's fun. It's cool. But guys, there's a risk and there's a reward to it. And I promise when you have the risk outweigh the reward, it's not worth it. And we've seen the centralized exchanges fail far too many times. Okay. Like, I mean, heck, 2021, we saw what, 4 big ones fail. And that's not good. And I feel sorry for everyone who lost money in that point in time, especially if that was the point in time when you're like, I'm taking profits finally. And then you move it on to the exchange and then boom, and they lock it up. And then you're just screwed. So have the good on and off ramp strategy already set up ahead of time, whether that's 10%, 25%, 50%, whatever number you're willing to okay with risking. It's well worth paying the additional fees to make sure that that money gets to where it needs to get to. I've always been a believer of that. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. But yeah, guys, this is going to be wrapping it up. I appreciate you, Compassion, for hopping in. I appreciate you, Dr. H, for hopping in. I don't know why the let me see what happened. I don't know why the names aren't showing up anymore. I guess I changed the setting in here. Let me see if I can fix that real fast. Like automatically add. No, I don't know. I don't know where it is. All right, cool. Well, I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, it's so weird. But guys, thank you so much for being here. Much love to every single one of y'all. Happy Sunday. Go follow Crypto Compassion. Do you have any shout outs that you'd love to share yourself? I know you go. No. I know you got Twitter mainly.
Yeah, I got Twitter. You know, I'm all good. I mean,
fair enough. He's just here for the love, folks. Dr. H.
I'll shout out my YouTube channel. It's a beginner's channel. I've got the first of 6 beginners videos. It's actually a pretty good one, I think. But I would love your feedback because I'm a newbie at this. So it does have Richard Hart twerking halfway through.
Okay.
So that's worth. See if you could spot him twerking. It's hidden.
What's the name of the channel?
It's Dr. H, the Cryptopraktor.
Oh, cool. Keep it simple. I love it.
Yeah, Dr. H, the Cryptopraktor, or at the Cryptopraktor.
I love it. Well, guys, go follow both of these beautiful people. Go have a wonderful time to your family. Call your friends if you ain't talked to them in a hot minute. Let them know that you love them. Let them know that you're here for them. Let them know that you're in their corner. If you ain't talked to your family in a hot minute, let them know you love them. Send them a good message. Share the love. Share the positivity. It's so much easier to live a happy life than a sad life. So, guys, much love to everyone being here as well. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
You ready, guys?